Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast. We are back for episode 2, and we are still proudly sponsored by WebGains. We've made it through the first one, Sam.
They didn't hear what we did last week and go, nah, we're done with this. So yeah, good job, I like that.
Thank you so much, WebGains, for your support. I'm Joel Osborne. He is Sam Hardy, as always. We've got producer Dan over there pushing the buttons. Dan, how's it going?
I am very well, thank you, gentlemen. Should we put me on screen? We can do this now.
Let's do it. We've got after last week's fiasco, we didn't have a light for producer Dan back there because we turned the house lights off. But now we finally have a camera for producer Dan, so the world can see your face. There he is.
Hey, still in the dark.
I just told everyone it was because he was too ugly for the screen that we didn't have him last week, Joel. But no, look at him. He's a handsome man. Very nice, Dan. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dan, did you watch the game at the weekend against Plymouth City Patriots?
Did I? You bet I did. It's been a good week for sport in Bristol, I think. Not so much for sport in Plymouth, because obviously the Flyers did the Patriots, didn't they, on Friday? Plymouth Argyle came here and lost to Bristol City as well. So a good week for sport in Bristol, I'd say, Joel.
Certainly is. Bristol, always better than Plymouth in every single aspect.
Wow.
It was a big 17-point win over the Plymouth City Patriots opening night. We'll talk about that a bit later on in the podcast in a bit more detail. And as you mentioned, producer Dan, Bristol City getting a double as well. Sam, before we introduce our guest this week on the podcast, should we get this forfeit out the way now, shall we?
Joel, I still don't agree with how it went down, but yeah, that's fine. If you weren't here last week, we recommend going back and listening, but Joel has introduced something to the table. We're not actually allowed to say what it's called.
It's called the British Basketball League Bucket.
Yeah, but look, turn around. What does it say on it? And
every time you refer to the former name of the abbreviation of the British Basketball League, you have to reach into the bucket and do a forfeit. Sam said the 3 letters last week, long story short. He drew a forfeit. The forfeit was he has to down a fresh water. Now, we are during office hours and we do promote responsible drinking. So instead of a super fresh water, Sam, we've got you.
What have you got me?
A Heineken Zero, non-alcoholic alcohol.
Oh, I'll take that. Yeah, good. Oh, it's still cold as well. It's so hot in here. I'm very happy to have a cold drink. John, I suck at downing, so this is going to be terrible for everyone.
Here we go then. This will be the best part of the podcast. If you listen to the video version of the podcast feed, Sam is well underway and he is downing his drink. Here he goes. He's still going. He's still going.
Wow.
God, Sam.
Wow.
That's some great technique. For someone that said they're very bad at downing a drink, you've absolutely nailed that.
Fair play, Sam.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Well done. There we go. Well, that's the first forfeit of the season. I'm sure many more to come. How do you feel, Sam?
I'm crying.
Very fresh water.
That's actually grim. No, it's good. It's good. Thanks, Heineken.
Lovely. Yeah, the freshest of fresh water here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. And I have to reiterate that this rule, by the way, it only applies for myself, for Sam, and producer Dan. We're not going to inflict forfeits on our guests on the podcast.
I know, that would be a bit mean, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's great. That's the first forfeit out the way. Fresh water. Thank you to Matt Hardy from the website that shall not be named for that one.
Didn't you rename Matt this week?
Yeah, we're going to call him Voldemort. From
the man who cannot be named.
We're going to call him Voldemort. So yeah, Matt Hardy from the website that shall not be named. Thank you for initiating our first.
Oops, sorry, Joe. I was making me burp, mate.
Only the best here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. This is the content that everyone's waiting for. Right, it's time for us to introduce our guest, shall we, this week, Sam?
Let's do it.
It has been a super, super busy week once again here at the Bristol Flyers, and you'll notice that we're dropping this podcast a day later than usual, and that's because it's been a busy week. We've had wrap-up from game content. We've also announcing a very brand new signing, Sam, and we are very pleased to be joined by our brand new signing right here on the podcast. Rowell Graham-Bell joins us here in the studio.
Hey, my man! How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, really well. I'm a bit crying still, but I'm doing all right, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you did good.
Oh, thank you. I needed to hear that today, bro. So yeah, I appreciate that.
It's been a super busy week for you as well, hasn't it? I mean, you arrived on Monday.
Yeah.
You got on the train from London to Bristol.
Yeah.
We took you straight away for all the photos, the media bits and bobs we have to do for the signing announcement.
You're missing a bit, Joel. I was asking earlier, when did you hear that you were going to be joining us?
The conversation starts Saturday evening at a wedding.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Oh, not your wedding.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Sam, and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, Sunday.
You heard on Sunday and then is travelling on Monday, Joel. Did all the pictures, was that with you?
Yep, did the photos with Rogan, and we did all that. We bashed all that out,
Yeah,
didn't we?
you guys know what you're doing.
We had you standing in the middle of some wet grass outside some of our outside the SGS College Arena, and the photos, they turned out pretty good, didn't they?
Yeah, you guys, you know what you're doing. You knew exactly what, you was like, here, right over here.
I think that was the quickest we've ever done a signing announcement. I think from start to finish, from coach reaching out to Rowell to getting over here to signing the contract to getting the photos done and then throwing him straight into practice, it's like I don't think I've seen anything happen that quickly at all.
Wait, did you practice Monday as well?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
when did you hear, Joel?
I found out Sunday night.
Oh, nice.
Coach texted me Sunday night saying, we're going to have Rowell coming in on Monday. Are you available? I was flapping around trying to get text messages sorted, trying to book Rogan in to come down and take some photos, giving Jack the heads up that he has to write a press release. And we made it work. We turned it around on Wednesday, and you're official as a Bristol Flyers player.
Yeah.
How's it sound?
Good. I think it's a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think
Yeah.
people were expecting us to. We haven't often announced a signing, well, especially not in the first week of the season. Of course, we had the injury to Christian Cunningham and T. John Lucas as well, and coach just felt like he needed a bit of extra firepower on the short-term deal, because
Yeah.
it's a short-term deal initially,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
So it's for the next few weeks or so, and then who knows? We've had players that have signed extended for the rest of the season after short-term deals in the past, so you never know. We're full of surprises here at Bristol Flyers.
Now, I've been watching some of your highlights this week since I heard you were coming. Man, I'm excited to see you play again.
So am I. So am I, 100%. I can't wait to get going, man.
Yeah,
That's
how's it feel to be back playing in the British Basketball League? Because of course you had that spell with Plymouth.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Newcastle, and
Yeah.
it was a very brief spell playing.
Yeah.
But now to be
unlucky.
back full strength, playing again, how does that feel to be back on the court?
It feels great. I've been, working, you work your way back up from injury, to get into that point and then just going all out. And I did that a couple of times and I was like, all right, it's time, time to get the ball rolling, literally.
Yeah.
So.
And have you ever been to Bristol before, away from? Imagine you've played here a few times throughout your career,
Yeah.
but in terms of the city as a whole, have you ever been to Bristol as a just a visit, or is it just purely basketball in the past?
Yeah, I've passed through. I've passed through, literally. Yeah, for the airport. Yeah, because Plymouth, when I was there, any flights we had to take, going Glasgow and whatnot.
Yeah,
you have to 2-hour trip to Bristol, to Glasgow.
That's so from Plymouth, the travel must have been grim to every other team, basically.
It was bad. It was bad.
Well, you
Hey,
imagine
man.
you imagine every other trip we do at Bristol and add 2 hours onto the return journey both ways. So you're looking at least an extra 4 hours on the bus for a 3-hour trip to Cheshire that we have. So you're looking at 5 hours to Cheshire there and back.
But you know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't know how the other guys felt about it, but I was used to it. I guess I was kind of accustomed to long trips anyway.
Yeah.
So in terms for me, I was just sleep, wake up here. All right. That was it, really. Especially after games, you're tired.
Yeah. Is that what you usually do on away journeys? You just sleep it off, or you doing other things to kill your time?
Sleep, laptop out, maybe some anime,
Oh, nice.
Netflix, what, or just little work. But yeah, 100%.
I don't know what the sort of other teams you play for travel's been like, but we get the chance to use either the Bristol Bears or the Bristol City coaches, because it's all linked together, and some of those coaches are quite nice, aren't they, Joel? So your away trips will be quite comfortable here.
I heard.
Yeah, I think there's. Well, obviously we did a podcast on the bus last season, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we did the Manchester Giants away. Some of the tables go down into beds. There's Sky Sports on the TVs. There's fridge, oven,
Solid.
Wi-Fi.
Solid.
So you guys do travel pretty well. So although 3-hour journey to Cheshire or a 5-6 hour journey to Newcastle can sound bad, it's I go on the bus with you guys and I literally can do a full day's work in there as if I'm in the office. It's so good.
Nice.
So yeah, it's awesome. Obviously you've been since Monday. First impressions of your teammates, the staff. What are your first impressions as a whole?
If I had to sum it up with one word, go. Like
Go.
go. That's how everything's been since I've been here. It's just been on go, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think today will be the day where I'm like officially like settled in, and then starting tomorrow, like we can get rolling and things will be smooth. But right now, just
go.
Yeah, just go.
I promise you, it does settle down.
Yeah, I know. I have no doubts about that. So
it's been a full-on week, but it does settle down. And just the one game this weekend as well to worry about as well. So it's not too bad. It's not a double header or anything like that to throw you into straight away.
How are you feeling about this weekend?
Excited, man. I'm excited, man.
I was going to say, it's like the first game to throw you into, and it's Newcastle Eagles. You couldn't write it really, could you?
Yeah, you could not make that up. The only difference is like it's not, I guess, the same in the sense like no one's there from last season apart from like Darius.
Yeah.
But in the coaches, but obviously, like still Newcastle. So
You were speaking to me just before we started and talking about how because you heard so last minute, you didn't really get a chance to bring any of your stuff down. Why don't you just give them a call, check your bags in the coach, and bring it down?
I've had that recommendation, but then I found out that you can get things sent through other postal services, so I'm chilling. Like now I know that. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, like
prime delivery, next day delivery.
Exactly.
Let's get it.
Get a drone delivery like that.
I wish.
And obviously, you're not completely on your own here because of the people that you know already. So like Rafael Thomas Edwards, you're really close with, and Coach Kapoulis as well, who you coach with as well. Just talk us through your friendship with Raf.
Me and Raf met with a few people, but we met I was thinking 15. Started basketball that year as well, so it was a bit of like a cluster altogether. But started that year. Steve Bucknell brought me and a couple of other guys from our junior team to Leicester to work out, have a camp, and then we did Bucknell camp in Crystal Palace, and we was doing all that all summer. So then I was really just going head to head against Raf and Elliot. I think you know Elliot.
Is that Elliot Sentence?
Yeah. That's my guy.
What a guy.
When I think Raf, I think Elliot. And when I think Elliot, I think Raf, and that's just it.
Yeah.
That was
awesome.
it. We was just head to head all the time, and I was like, yeah, I like you. You know when you get that competitive, you on the same page as me, and ever since then we just rocked.
Yeah, and of course you guys played for GB together as juniors as well. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's where I met Coach K.
Yeah, because Coach was on the coaching side. Is that when he was an assistant coach or a head coach?
He was an assistant coach.
He was assistant coach back then.
Yeah.
So that's when Andreas first joined the GB setup as an assistant to the under-20s.
He's done that a while then, hey?
But I would say that year specifically. The whole coaching setup with them all, they was such a unit, and I think that's a hard thing to do, generally, on such, I don't know what type of notice they get in terms of what they're doing, but from when we got there, we was as the players, we was okay, we're doing something here, and that's when we got promoted. And
and obviously under 20s you won the silver, or is that right? Under 18s you won the bronze.
Still mad about that.
Well, what was the score in the last game?
I can't remember. I threw it out my brain a long time ago. That's not in my memory bank at all. I just know that we should I think we beat them. We beat that same team in the qualifiers.
Who was it?
And it was I think it was Poland.
Yeah.
I think it was Poland. Yeah, Poland. We beat them in the qualifiers by it was close. It was super close, and coming around again, we went undefeated that whole tournament there.
And was Mark Stute on the coaching staff for that as well?
Yes, man. Oh man, yeah. Shout out Mark, man. That's the serious coach right there.
Yeah. The basketball world is just so small, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we say it to every player, but you always know someone, or you've grown up playing against someone, and even the Americans that come over would have played against or with someone else that you've maybe played against in your career. Although it feels like it's massive, the community is so tight, isn't it?
It's so small. When I now that I'm announced and everything, I can follow my teammates and whatnot. First thing I do is see who they know, who I know.
Yeah.
That's just the thing, because it's really that small.
Yeah. Imagine you have mutuals with. Do you have any mutuals with any of the players this year on the Flyers team at all?
I haven't been able to check yet. Like, but I'm about today. I'm checking. Like, I need to know.
Yeah, you have to report back to us and let us know, because it's always interesting to find out who's sort of mates with who.
There's always someone. There's always someone.
Yeah.
Who else was on that GB team when you were under 20 that we might know now?
Devin Van Oostrum.
Devin Van Oostrum got the. Did he get MVP that year?
I think he did. Yeah.
He got an award that year. I remember. He had Raf. We had Elliot Sennett, Jordan. Was Jesse there? No, Jesse was a bit older. Was he there?
Jesse Chuku.
Yeah.
He's massive on TikTok now. Have you seen his TikTok?
What's he doing on TikTok?
He's doing everything on TikTok.
Is he?
You should go check it out.
You don't know about Jesse, and he's in the ball game. Come on, man.
I deleted TikTok because I wasted many an hour on that thing.
I get it. I
kind of have to be on it for work.
I take spells on it.
Yeah. Because if I was on it for work, I would.
You'd become a consumer.
Yeah. I kind of have to be on it because it's literally what we do. We post TikToks.
That's his excuse. It's my job.
Well, also I love
scrolling.
It's fun being on it as well, obviously.
Yeah, it's good. That's the thing. It's so good. It's like unbelievably good and addictive. Dan, you got your hand up, mate, like a school kid.
We've all seen Joel dance like Doja Cat. Those Doja Cat dances Joel's been up to.
No, I don't have my own personal TikTok, but no, we've had we had a few players that have been active on TikTok. I remember Malcolm last year was pretty active on TikTok. Not too many this year on the squad. But yeah, no, it's awesome.
Start a podcast TikTok, mate.
We should. Oh, we put some clips on this on TikTok.
Proper one though. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Let's just do silly stuff. They want to see us dancing. That's right there. Yeah? You want to see that?
I'll go for it. Go on.
I got nothing.
Right, let's get back to where were we? We're deviating away here. We're deviating from the norm. We're chatting GB under 20s.
Yeah.
Right, talk us about that whole experience and how that kind of helped prepare you for like your pro career after that. Then is that? I imagine that would have been huge.
That was such a great team to like put together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they made any wrong decisions in terms of like the guys they brought, and they we was a unit, man. Like it was like F everyone else. This is us. Like we're doing something here. I'm allowed to say F, yeah.
Yeah, you can say.
You know what it means,
100%. Yeah, it's absolutely fine.
Just so you know what that means anyway. But
flip everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that was it. So we kind of went in there with that mentality, got the job done, and playing with that level of talent around you all the time. Everyone's pushing everyone, and trust me, practices got competitive, like full on, like talking, like we was talking some stuff. So, oh my God.
Are you a talker anyway?
Huh?
Are you a talker anyway?
Nah. Like generally, nah.
That usually means yes.
Nah. Like it's hard to like get that side of me out, like in terms of, because I'd rather just kind of perform and show you like, yeah, you shouldn't have talked to me in the first place, kind of thing.
Yeah, nice.
I prefer that like direction. But in practices, if it's very rare you come across people who are really like that and gonna talk some
Corey
stuff.
Samuels likes to talk a lot, doesn't he? That's what we hear on the podcast.
We ain't got none yet. I ain't heard none yet, man. He's chilling. He's cool, man.
I don't know if you saw him and LVC going out at the game on.
In the game.
On Friday.
See, that's different. Yeah, that's it. Like, come on now.
He's standing on his foot.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's.
I love those mind games. They're amazing. I love it.
That's my guy, though.
I know he is your guy, though, isn't he?
So.
You love him.
No, Elvis is a legend. I didn't get a chance to speak to him at the game, but whenever I do speak to him, we always catch up. He's a great guy.
Do you know, everyone says he's the nicest guy. I don't really know him that well, but on the court, he does the most annoying things to the other team, right? You don't know.
But you have to also understand that a lot of the time throughout Elvis's career, he's played for Plymouth, and Plymouth and Bristol has always been that sort of rivalry.
He played for Surrey too.
He did that brief spell at Surrey United as well, and a bit of Cheshire as well. But like most of the games in his career, he's played against Bristol, and there's always that sort of rivalry between the two teams. Although the last week's game didn't really feel much of a rivalry. I don't know about you, Sam. I didn't really feel much of a derby.
It's hard. I mean, his first game of the season's cool, but like it's not a chance for really the new players to understand what the rivalry is, I suppose. It just kind of feels like a normal match. But but what a player. He's a player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rowell, we have to talk about your pro career for a little bit. Of course, we spoke about you had that spell in Newcastle last year, but also you did play for Plymouth last season. Plymouth the season before even Plymouth City Patriots. The 21-22 season. How do you look back on that season with the Patriots?
Oh, that was crazy, man. I mean, I feel like, no offense to anyone else, I mean, I'm sure people would probably agree with it heavily. Like, it was probably the most entertaining team in the league that season.
Yeah.
Like if you want to argue, I could probably give you so many disputes against why you shouldn't. But like, think about how we started. Like, first, okay, like a lot of us weren't on the team in the beginning. It was a whole different team.
What, really? Isn't they brought you in late?
100%. Yeah, I came like October, but it was either I came October, worked out for a month, because I still was like, I'm not playing yet. And then...
Oh, really?
We was like, okay, we're like, let's go. Like, after I had like a month of work with them. And then it was November, I think, when we started. Yeah, when I'd signed, and then we got a couple other players involved.
Do you have Williams at that point?
No, he signed, I think, in like January.
Yeah.
But like, I came in, Kofi came in. That was the game. I think very shortly after that, that's when Kofi had his crazy ass.
The 40 game, the 40 piece.
Me?
Yeah.
Come on
For
now.
who was that against?
It was against Manchester.
Oh, nice. Who he went and played for after that, right?
Yeah, he did go to Manchester after that. Yeah. I remember that well, actually. I was watching that game at home.
Yeah, and I know people like, well, like in terms of like, well, Plymouth's keeping up this time, like after all them losses in a row, you know.
Yeah.
We should have won that, really.
Oh, did you know? I didn't remember you didn't win that one.
Ah, man, they should have won that. Like, I think who hit a buzz? Like, somebody.
I think Dan Clark hit a shot.
Dan, yeah. I don't even want to touch that one in terms of like what we should have done to a lot. Like, I think Coach K might have said to me, like, when I saw him in person, like, yeah, you guys could have won that if you just like fouled him, sent it to the free throw line, because then he couldn't have had three.
Yeah,
it would have been, you know what I mean? It would have been
2 free throws.
It would have been 2 free throws done.
Yeah. So he hit a buzzer beater free to win.
Buzzer beater free to tie it, to bring it to overtime.
Oh, don't talk to me about buzzer beater free to take us to overtime.
I'll tell you what, let's get to it. So,
no, I don't want to hear it.
Let's talk about it. Rowell, one of the most memorable games that I remember you playing against the Flyers when you were at Plymouth City Patriots was the 21-22 season. It was Flyers v Plymouth City Patriots down at the Pavilions, February 18th, 2022. Double overtime, both benches getting ejected in the third quarter. What do you remember from it?
What I remember.
Tell me talk to me about your memories from that game, because that game was crazy. I mean, there was an altercation in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Both benches got ejected. It was like midway through the third.
Yeah.
So we call it ejection city game. Everyone in Bristol. Basically, it was that everyone got sent off. Basically, it was like 5v5 for like a quarter and a half.
Right.
So both teams had to play the rest of the game with just 5 players, no subs. The game ended up going to double overtime. And Rowell over here hit the shot to force double overtime off an offensive rebound and ran it out to the baseline. I think producer Dan's got a clip of it, actually, if you can get it up on screen. Here's a look at the clip. Talk us through this play, Rowell.
I mean, I saw Joe shoot it early on, and I was thinking, wherever this comes off, like wherever it goes on the rim, anything, I was like, man.
That was a crazy
turnaround jump. It's lovely, but
I was just thinking, yo, I'm shooting this. I said I'm gonna catch it wherever it goes and go to the free.
Yeah.
No, I said nothing will stop me. I was already saying that in my head.
Yeah.
I saw, I think, LVC's on the free on the other side. If you
show it again, Dan.
Pull up on the screen again, Dan. I mean, this is an incredibly hard shot to make.
Yeah. So LVC's there on the 45.
If you're listening on the audio feed of the podcast, essentially it's an offensive rebound for Graham-Bell, and he just grabs it and legs it out to the corner, baseline corner near side, and just the fadeaway jumper.
Did the corner shot.
Absolutely outrageous.
And then that bit at the end with who was it? Oh, Boo Man. Yeah, my man Boo Man. I was just like to him, we ain't going home, yeah? That's that bit with the hand where I'm like, come on, we're here. I'm like, we're not going anywhere.
I say that was a game that will probably haunt Flyers fans for quite some time. Is that one of the biggest shots of your career, would you say?
Second, mate. No.
One of the second biggest shots of your career? Up there, though, top 5.
Oh, yeah.
It was massive.
What was do you remember your 3-point percentage that year? Because you're pretty good at shooting threes, but...
Yeah, in terms of, like, England knowing that, I guess, I didn't really shoot early on in my career.
Yeah.
went abroad, played elsewhere, and really, like, coaches drilled that into me, like, shoot. And then they started showing me shooting practices, and then they were just like, shoot the free. And then it was like, okay, you're shooting the free, why are you not shooting more? And then it got to the point where coaches would get mad at me. Shout out to Paco Garcia, you know, he was a serious coach, but like, you know, he drilled that into me. He was like, shoot it, and he would get mad at me if I didn't shoot open shots and stuff like that. So
it's not just open shots. I saw in your highlights you're just pulling up on people man.
Yeah, I feel confident in my shot.
That's good. I like that.
Rowell, obviously you played in Bristol a couple times. You would have, with the time in Plymouth, you would have played against the Flyers. Like, just real quickly, what are some of your like favourite memories of playing against Bristol, maybe at SGS? Like, what do you remember from the crowd maybe at SGS, or what is it? Because we hear often that at SGS from opposing players that it's a difficult place to play. It's a small venue, it's loud, the fans are close to the court.
Yo, we literally say that in the locker room before we step on the court.
Is it
like, yo, don't make the fans get to talk. Don't get into it with the fans. Remember, they're right next to you all the time, and this is their court. Like, it is like it's probably one of the only few courts that you can say you actually get an advantage from playing at if you're a home team.
Yes.
I get, like, I see it. Like, you see that as an away team coming here. You're like, yo, like, sideline, there's like 2-step space from, you know, on the far side, and it's just, it's not overwhelming, but it's like,
it's just tight.
You're right there. You feel like the fans right on your back at all time.
Yeah.
And you don't get that many other arenas.
How much are you looking forward to sort of playing on the other side of that now? And
good. I'm gonna tell them, hey, talk some. You know what I mean? I say, hey, why are you so quiet back there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Talk. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You've got to be getting the crowd going as well, and they'll love that. You know they will.
I do that. Yeah.
The crowd love getting whipped up at SGS as well. They just bite into it every time. It's amazing.
They get loud.
Yeah. Well, Rowell, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast to spend time out your busy schedule, because I know it's been like super busy. But before we get to our questions, we've got a little gift for you, and that is down here. Because on Monday we got your jerseys printed. I'm very pleased to say your jerseys are now printed, and they're right here. We've got the home one here on the podcast. There it is.
Hey,
oh no, it's spelled wrong. No,
hey, don't do that.
Here's the home uniform, and then we got the away uniform right here as well.
That jersey, I'm saying it now, is probably the best jersey in the league.
Yes.
That colorway. It's gone down very well with our fans this year.
That colorway is crazy. That colorway is top.
You know what I call it? I said it before, but it's the cream soda kit. I think if you had a can of cream soda...
Okay, I thought you was going to say something else. I was like, cool.
I'm going to throw those over there. But Rowell, they are yours to take with you now.
Thank you.
We're very pleased to have you on the other end of the Southwest Derby now this time, and hopefully the fans will really welcome you in warmly on Friday night against Newcastle Eagles as well.
Yeah.
Talk us through the number 22. What's the reason for the number 22 this year?
So I got like numbers that I go to, right? Yeah.
So you have like a priority list. What's top of the priority list? Who took your number one priority?
It doesn't matter who took it, but yeah, it's gone.
There we go.
21.
So that's Leslie Smith.
Yeah, and then what did I say next? I said 7.
That's Christian Cunningham.
Yeah, and then I said number 4,
and that is Corey Samuels.
and then so I've had 13, but I don't know. 13 doesn't like resonate with me like that anymore.
It's supposed to be unlucky, apparently. So
it's unlucky for most, lucky for... What is it? Yeah, unlucky for most, lucky for some.
Yeah.
And I still believe that. You know what I mean? But yeah, just not right now.
Yeah.
You know, 13. So.
Fair enough. Well, we're off to 2-2 this season. So 22.
Deuce.
Rowell Graham-Bell. Deuce.
You know
Deuce.
Shout my man, Deuce.
Just a quick one before we get to the quick fire questions. Those jerseys will be available online at the Bristol Flyers website soon. We're told soon. We're still waiting for the delivery from Kappa. So keep an eye on the website at bristolflyers.co.uk. They will be available, both the Flyers home jersey and the away jersey, very, very soon indeed. Keep your eyes peeled. And on Bristol Flyers socials, at Bristol Flyers. We're at Bristol Flyers everywhere. Right, Sam, shall we get to our quick fire questions questions segment.
Yes, we shall.
Rowell, we have a segment on the podcast where every guest that comes on, we ask them a series of quick-fire questions. The score to beat Producer Dan is what? Can you remember what the score was for last week, Producer Dan?
It was 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't high. It
Was it
might have been
6?
6.
Or it might have been 7, maybe. I can't remember from Raf last week. So 7 is the score to beat. Producer Dan's going to keep score over there. We're going to get the lights down low. Can we get them down low, please, Producer Dan?
Okay.
Don't be nervous, all right, Rowell? Don't be nervous. You basically, Rowell, will have 30 seconds to answer as many of our quick-fire questions as possible. Your 30 seconds starts from now. LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Jaffa Cakes, biscuits or cakes?
Cakes.
What's your favourite fast food chain?
KFC.
Do you prefer a big block or a big dunk?
Big dunk.
Who have you spoken to on the team the most so far?
Raf.
What's the best country you've ever visited?
Dominican Republic.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Favorite YouTube channel?
Mr. Beast.
Favourite away arena to play in? Last one. I started, so I'll finish.
Favorite arena to play. Favorite arena to play in.
Yeah.
That ever or just?
Oh yeah, let's go ever. Let's go ever.
I can't remember the arena, but it was in China.
Great.
It was massive.
Freaking huge.
Was it?
Huge.
Was it full up as well?
It was full.
Yes!
Amazing.
Oh man.
Producer Dan's kept score. Producer Dan, how many points has Rowell Graham-Bell got, please?
He has 9.
Oh, 9.
Nice.
9 points for Rowell Graham-Bell. You are the leader after week 2 of the new season of the podcast. So we actually wiped the scores fresh at the end of last season.
Yeah, nice.
Also, we never keep count anyway. we never have a leaderboard. It's just fun. Silly nonsense, bit of fun. Right here on the Bristol Flyers Podcast. Sam, let's get to the news.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Before we get to this week's news, we want to say a huge thank you to our proud new podcast sponsor, WebGains.
Now, WebGains is an affiliate marketing network that make connections between retailers and those looking to promote their products in exchange for a commission.
And with the new British Basketball League season now underway, Sam, what connections are you most looking forward to seeing this season?
I'm looking for the connection between the 3 T's, Joel, Tevin, Tijon and Trajan. How about you, Joel? Who are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing Brad Green this season. I'm really excited to see him on the court in action. All 6'11" of him. But not only WebGains sponsors of the podcast, their company's logo, Sam, is proudly displayed on the front of our brand new home and away playing shorts this season, inspiring the team to make smarter connections on the court, just like they do for thousands of brands on their international affiliate network.
Now, if any of our listeners want to learn more about affiliate marketing and add it to their own marketing strategy, to search WebGains Bristol Flyers into Google to make smarter connections of your own.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, lots to discuss, lots of news happening around the British Basketball League over the last week or so. Shall we start with Flyers v Patriots?
Oh, man. I mean, last season we did the 4-game sweep over them, did we not?
We did, and now that makes it the 5th in a row now against Plymouth.
Very exciting. It was weird. We were obviously missing Christian and we were missing Tijon. Mm-hmm. And it didn't ever feel really out of our reach, did it, Joel?
No, it was, it felt very pre-season-y. Like, there was a lot of, little errors, and obviously the season is starting earlier this year as well. So, you did feel like, and especially on our Plymouth side of things, I felt like they turned the ball over a lot. We had some good defense, but I felt like there were a lot of sloppy turnovers on their part as well.
Yeah, but you cannot go without talking about this match without talking about Big Bad Brad. Oh my goodness me, Joel.
Yeah, huge double-double. Massive double-double. I was going to get the box score up, but it's on my laptop, but I'm just loading it up now.
What do you have, 23 and...
I think it's 23 and 10 that he had. Here it goes.
We were when he got he had his 9th rebound, and we knew it. We were following the stats along, and we were just trying to get him. He nearly got one. He didn't get the next one, but yeah, it was really big game by Big Bad Brad.
Yeah, 23 points, 10 rebounds for Brad Green. Tevin Ollison, 13 points. Keedron Johnson, 15 points. All round a good team all-round performance, considering we had 2 players out as well, and now we just added Rowell over here to the mix. So
should be good. 2 of those points were massive 2 points. Who are they by, Joel?
Oh, from Callum Smart.
Yes,
The
mate.
biggest cheer of the night for Callum Smart, by the way. Incredible. It came in in the fourth quarter. The game pretty much wrapped up. Goes in like 2 minutes, gets a bucket straight off the bat.
Big rebound and a big move. 2 of them on him, weren't there?
Yeah. So it's great to see. Obviously, for the SGS Basketball Academy, giving the young guys a chance in the British Basketball League.
Gotta go get his, man.
Did I ask you this already? Did you watch the game? Have I asked you that already?
Yeah, watched the early stages of it. I was intending on watching it. I will watch it probably this evening.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't like deal with the what's it? Media breaks.
The media timeouts.
Yeah.
Were they annoying you, were they?
Slightly, man. It's just because as a basketball player, like you want to watch, I just want to get to the ball part, kind of.
Let's talk about it. I mean, like, obviously, this was the first weekend that we got to see the new British Basketball League's broadcast for this season. Of course, they're doing them all in house now, up at Ealing in their studios in West London. And Sam, there's been a bit of talk on it on social media as well, a bit of beef, some would say. Obviously, last year we had the rant of the week, Joel's rant of the week on the podcast.
Yeah.
It went down really well. This year,
Do we still have the sound for that? This is what it used to sound like, I think.
oh, go on, I can't turn you up there. You on, hit it. So Sam did his magic on the podcast. We had Joel's rant of the week on the Bristol Flyers pod. This year, it went down last year's rant of the week went down so well. We've now got British basketball beef, and Steve Devereaux and the Flyers commercial team has only gone and sold a sponsorship for it. So Sam, without further ado, we have to record a little sting for this, and maybe we can do some
more
editing
magic.
magic and make something like that for next time.
Steve will sell something for anything, won't he, Joel?
He will, but hey, we'll take it. So, right, here we go. So, it's time for British Basketball Beef, sponsored by Cow and Sow. And then I think we need to add some, noises to it as well. What do you reckon? Like some...
That sort of thing.
yeah, you got maybe a pig in there as well?
Oh, I can't do it. Let me think.
You can.
Yo, that's good.
That's good.
Where did that one from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds a bit more like them things from Lord of the Rings. What they call it? The Nazguls or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But hey, we'll work some magic with that. Maybe we can turn it into a little sting for next week's episode.
See what we can do.
But British basketball beef, and there was a lot of beef on social media. I saw a lot of fans talking about it. They weren't happy with the media timeouts in the league, and obviously they've introduced them now every 5 minutes, or the first dead ball after the 5 minute point in every quarter. It's a 90-second timeout, which is added on top of your existing timeouts as well. So games can go on for an extra 15 minutes or so, potentially, if you add them all at 10 minutes or so. If you add them all, it's actually 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
But
Yeah.
if you add the time, if you add the time it takes for players to go on and off the court as well,
that's
and stuff
true.
like that, and it never actually happens bang on time,
So
does
wait,
it?
how much time is it? Sorry again.
6 minutes, minute and a half every single quarter. You were obviously
After
watching
the,
it
After the 5th minute, right?
after the 5th minute.
Yeah.
But
First
it's not.
stop,
But it's
dead
not.
ball.
I can understand where this beef is coming from, because this isn't in the FIBA rules. The FIBA rules, if you're doing media timeouts, is the first. If you call a say for example, a team goes on a 10-0 run in the first 2 minutes, and your coach calls a timeout to talk things through.
Yeah.
After 2 minutes, so it's
Right.
before the 5 minute point. That timeout counts as your timeout as the coach for calling it, and it's also the media timeout.
That makes sense, though.
You see what I mean?
That
so then
makes
there
perfect
isn't.
sense.
So then if you've done that, there isn't a media timeout at the 5 minute point.
Strategically, you don't want to call that if you want to break.
So right
'Cause
now-
you could save a.
So right now, and here's a good example. Right now in the league, you
Yeah.
could call it. There's no point calling a timeout with 4:30
Nah, 'cause
or like 5:30 on the
Yeah.
clock. You might as well wait for the media timeout after the 5 minute point, as
Right.
long as it's a dead ball.
Yeah.
Because you could have a situation where everyone just misses field goals and it
Just
goes on for
tell
like
the-
an extra minute,
Just tell your next player throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you get your timeout. So I can understand
Yeah.
the reasoning. However, obviously the league is moving forwards. They're trying to get these new broadcast deals, specifically overseas in the States.
Should get Steve on it.
And a big part of that is TV ad revenue. So if we're having an extra timeout in the first quarter, second quarter, third and fourth, if we're seeing TV ad revenue as a result of it, it can only be a good thing for the league, because that results in more money coming in. So I can see both sides of it. I can see both sides of the argument. How does it feel as a player, though? From a player's perspective, I imagine if you know that timeout's coming as well, I imagine that sort of maybe changes your thought process a little bit.
in terms of like, knowing how much like athletes know how like what you do to prepare for a game or everything like that. Like, let's just give the example: you go double overtime and you had those media timeouts. You're not putting in that same level of like condition. Like, it's not as hard as it would have been if you just was flowing.
Yeah.
10 minutes straight. Oh, coach ran out of timeouts. Yeah. You got that 5-minute timeout. I'm sorry, but you're like, you ain't gonna be as gassed as you was. And don't get twisted. I mean, that will lead to better performances. Because players won't be as tired, innit? So.
Well, they are also they're not adding timeouts during overtime periods, but obviously if you add the timeouts and if both coaches use all their timeouts, what was originally like a 1 hour 45 length game could last up to like 2 hours, 2 hours 15 potentially if it goes to overtime, etc. So I can see it lasting a bit long, especially like and obviously with the new scheduling process as well. They have. They want tip-offs to be at different times. So you'll notice on the schedule that we have a lot of 8 p.m. tip-offs at home at SGS. So, for example, say we have an 8 p.m. tip-off at home, you're looking at, if it goes to the overtime, you're looking at like 10:15ish potentially finishing at SGS, which I can understand for family audience it can be a bit late. So I can see both sides of the argument, but obviously if there's revenue coming in as a result and it's able to help basketball keep going and pushing forward in this country, then it can only be a good thing. And also we spoke about it last week with the rebrand, Sam. The British Basketball League's moving forward. It's a lot of change. People need to get used to it, but you've got to get on board, and if you get on board and embrace the change, they could turn around and say, yeah, these were a mistake, and change their mind about it. But you've got to get on board and embrace the change.
Is that this week's beef around the league, Joel?
Yeah, that's the beef. Well, it's not my beef. It's not my beef. I'm perfectly cool with it. But that is British basketball beef, sponsored by Cow and Sow. Hopefully you got some more bits there. You can. You'll
love going to Cow and Sow. There's a restaurant in Bristol, a steak restaurant, and you will get to go as team meals, and they are unreal, aren't they, John?
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you want to talk about meals, and obviously, Rowell, you weren't there for it last week, but we have to talk about Racks. By the way, we had a team barbecue last Wednesday down at Racks in Clifton Village.
Oh my goodness me!
Unbelievable. They had everything. They had chicken. Without this turning into a food podcast, they had chicken.
We can go there.
We had, honestly, it was a full spread of barbecue foods. It was unbelievable.
Chicken.
and then they had chicken. There was like hot dogs, burgers. There was
steaks,
chicken,
fish, little prawns.
There was prawns. Yeah. A really good salad, chips, everything you could ever imagine. And we had a whole full team meal down there.
And you'll head back for some this year as well.
What would you recommend?
Well, that was different because that was like a barbecue.
Well, they put on
something slightly different every time.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying, like, if I go on there, like, just some.
I'll tell you what. Chicken.
Chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah.
Chicken. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the end of the food podcast for this week. Right. Back to other news around the league. We were chatting about Brad Green being named Team of the Week. Big performance from him. And Sam, here's something that caught my eye on social media. A Twitter account.
This is the dumbest thing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. I saw this on social media. I had to share this on the podcast. There's a Twitter account. It looks like a burner account, and they've named it Brad Green is my dad. Every single post we put out about Brad Green, they engage with it and say, yeah, go dad. Here's an example. Put it up on screen, Dan. Brad is a bully in the paint, we tweeted on September 15th. Quote tweet. Woo, go dad. At B Green 55JR.
I saw this.
Amazing.
I'm one of those views.
Amazing.
Did you follow it or not?
Oh no.
No.
What an account.
I don't know if it's spam, innit?
It's not spam. This is full on content. Put another one on the screen, Dan. Here's another one. It's our post-game interview. Brad Green after the win over Plymouth.
Tell him, Dad.
In the caption, Brad Green reflects on his British Basketball League debut. You tell him, Dad. Quote tweet. Amazing.
I can almost guarantee you it's someone from where he's from. Is it California?
Do you reckon?
He's from California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's someone messing with him. Well, that's one of his, for sure.
One more tweet we got here, producer Dan. Yes, go Dad. And this is obviously after we announced Brad Green being named in Team of the Week. Oh, amazing.
This makes no sense to me. I think it's funny though. I'm going to follow him.
Funny nonsense here on the podcast. Yeah. I absolutely love it. So that's another bit of news that caught my eye. Right. What else we got to talk about? other news around the league. Have you ever seen the Caledonia Gladiators documentary that has just aired on BBC Three?
I've not watched it, but it's out, isn't it?
Yeah, it dropped on Monday. It follows the team from last season.
Perfect, because they won the cup, didn't they? Or the trophy.
It's an 8-part series, BBC Three and iPlayer. It follows the start of their journey from being called Glasgow Rocks. It goes through the rebrand, it goes through the new owners coming in, and it culminates in them winning the BBL trophy. Oh my God,
mate! Did you see that play from last year to win it?
Big
Sam,
steps. Oh yeah.
I have to. Well, producer Dan's got his hand up, and I just said something
sorry,
at the
sorry,
end.
John. What was that there? You said the.
Oh no! No!
Yes!
You didn't even realise that, by the way. I just saw myself. Producer Dan like caught me out there.
Catch, man.
Dad, I love that, mate.
But as soon as I said it, I knew. Oh God.
Oh, that is so good. All right, Joel, we've got the forfeit bucket right here. Please pick yourself a tasty little forfeit.
Come on, make it nice.
This makes me so happy. What does it say?
Oh my goodness, Sam, you're gonna have to get the Bluetooth on here.
Already?
Play alphabetical. Ring a player on the team. You have to start each sentence of your conversation with the next letter of the alphabet.
Oh. Should we do it next week, though?
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it for next week.
Well, we'll do it next week. Hopefully none of the players listen to this and we'll know that
it's going to happen.
That it's going to happen.
Okay, cool.
Oh, God. Maybe I'll come with a bit of prep for next week and we do it next week.
That is amazing. Yeah, nice one. Okay, I like that.
Right, well, there you go. That's on the cards for next week's episode of the pod. Thanks for that one. Brilliant. But yeah, go check it out. The Caledonia Gladiators documentary. It's great on BBC Three. We shouldn't say that now.
It's crazy. I actually came across it and didn't know it was on.
Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
I watched I'll say 10-15 minutes of it.
Yeah. I think it's good for the league, isn't it?
It's solid, man. I was just thinking at first, I was like, oh, is it this season? I was like, but then it's
it was from last season. Yeah, they had cameras following around all year. Pretty much.
Did they come down when we were?
They took footage from the broadcasts.
Oh, nice.
But they didn't actually come to a game at SGS. I was watching the episode. I could hear my commentary on it for a little bit.
Sloan, what a player.
Little cameo in there.
He's sick. He's so good.
He was a great player.
Yeah.
Right. Other news around the league. We have to talk about this. Newcastle Eagles. Of course, 40 tickets left at the time of recording right now. Not many to go. It should sell out. It probably will sell out. If you're looking to come to the game on Friday, go get your tickets, bristolflyers.co.uk, or you can watch the game for free on the British Basketball League YouTube channel.
How are you feeling about this Friday, mate?
I'm hyped, man. Mainly because I'm just first game back. But I've been on go. I've been on go.
Are you feeling good? Your body feel good?
Yeah, man. I'm in the gym daily. You wouldn't believe, since I've been here, how much. In fact, I was in the gym before I came here, so.
I was going to say, if Raf's on the team this year, Raf loves the gym. He'd get you in every day.
Me and Rafi getting you don't go to the gym as much as me. Like, what?
And we have to give a little shout out to your side hustle, because we were just chatting about it in the car, weren't we?
Yeah.
You do a bit of personal training business on the side.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to set it up right now. Just set up the website to have PT courses, sessions. That you can just buy, and there it is. There's the plan set up. You wanna look like an athlete, you can train like one. Train like one as well.
Love that. That is so good.
And how can fans get involved in the if they want to receive some training, if they want to reach out? How can they get involved?
Right now it's not set up, but I'd say if you go on my Instagram, there's another account that leads to it on my bio. Just go follow it and then keep up. I'll be posting stuff soon.
And your IG is Row Bounce, is that right?
Yeah, ROW Bounce, one word.
Row Bounce. Awesome.
Very easy, innit? I know.
Right, last bit of news we've got to get to, Sam, and this one could be the biggest news of all. Because this morning, because we are recording this on the Wednesday, this announcement will be made Thursday morning. Lisa Knights has been appointed Bristol Flyers Chief Executive.
Amazing. I mean, Lisa's been involved for how many years now? Forever, really, hasn't she?
She was, when I first started, I was actually her first hire, so this would have been 2014. So Lisa Knights heads up the media teams across all the group. the group communication strategy across Flyers, City, Bears. She's been a Bristol Flyers board member since 2018. She was named to the British Basketball League Board of Directors last year, and now stepping up into a chief executive role as we prepare for our next step of our growth, Sam, as we approach the Sporting Quarter at Ashton Gate.
And she is like there at near enough every single game, isn't she? Avid fan, loves it. So yeah, really good appointment. Looking forward to it, John.
We will have more details on next week's show, because fingers crossed, if all goes to plan, we're going to have Lisa Knights as our guest right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. So if you have a question, if you want to know the direction the club's going in, if you want to learn... no questions off limits. Anything goes, I say.
No question. Okay. Get creative, people.
We're gonna have Lisa on the podcast. It's gonna feel quite strange interviewing my boss, but
well, I'm glad we didn't have her this week, because I was down in fresh water, but not with our boss here, Joel. So
oh yeah,
that'd have been weird. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But if you've got a question, do message us. If you're on X, you can post your question on X at Bristol Flyers, and then Facebook will leave a post on Facebook. You can leave a comment on there, or if you're watching on YouTube, just down here in the comment section, you can leave a comment as well. So yeah, we'll have Lisa Knights on the podcast next week, the new Bristol Flyers chief executive. Right, and I think, Sam, that's it for our new segment. Let's wrap up with the mailbag.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, time for us to wrap up this week's show. And Rowell, as always, we have questions from fans. However, we actually announced to you this morning, and usually we leave it 24 hours on socials for fans to send their questions in.
Yeah.
But because we only announced to you, probably 4 or 5 hours ago now, maybe 3 or 4 hours ago,
Yeah.
I've actually reached out to the Flyers Supporters Club members to send questions in to you. So I've got some questions here. Sam Comley from the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club, shout out Sam, he's been in touch with a few questions. The first one, what is your most memorable moment as a player?
As a player, playing in Spain, hitting a game winner shot to lead to promotion. It was literally the game winner. That was probably my biggest shot of my career.
Yes.
Wow. What team was that you were playing for?
Almanza. They wasn't Leopold. Got demoted for off-court reasons, politics, whatever. But yeah, that was a big shot for me. Turnaround jump shot.
Here's a question that's been doing the rounds on TikTok recently. How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
What?
It's like a TikTok trend, isn't it? They ask people how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
And what's the answer?
Are you thinking
Never.
about the Roman Empire a lot?
Unless I want to watch a movie related to,
What about when you see a really straight road? Do you think about the Roman Empire then?
I was about to say something. No. No.
What about about the numerals? They didn't really go down well, did they?
No,
Roman
they didn't.
Numerals?
No.
They're still used nowadays. In music theory, they're used quite a lot, actually. That sounds boring, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pioneers in their field in numerals, weren't they?
Yeah.
That went down like a lead balloon. I was hoping to be better bit of content there.
No.
That's been doing a trend on TikTok. Apparently, it's a big trend on TikTok.
Joe, that's
now.
a really good question,
it's
mate.
like people. Absolute nothing. Great stuff. Here's a question from Matt Childs from the Bristol Sport Office. What are you doing right there, mate?
I got a present
What's that?
from Matt Childs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go for it.
So Matt Charles from the Bristol Sport Office, and we'll take you up to the office after this, so you can meet some members of staff if it's still time. It's 5:00 now, at time of recording. But Matt Charles from the Bristol Sport Office, and he loves a snack. Sam, did I tell you he loves a snack?
He's got a whole drawer full of snacks. If you walk in, there's just hundreds of them.
Call him Snack Charles.
Yeah. And he counts his calories as well, so he's always he looks after himself.
Yeah.
He's good.
And I might know the answer to this already because it kind of was raised in the quickfire questions. But he wants to know Nando's or KFC. And then he also, before you answer, he says, if you say KFC, he'll be very, very, very disappointed.
Oh, I mean, 100% Nando's.
You prefer Nando's?
Yeah, 100%.
You'll do some team meals at Nando's here as well this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we got the partnership with Nando's.
Shout them out,
And we also have a thing at the club where if a player hits a half-court shot in a game, like a buzzer beater end of quarter, the team goes out for Nando's. Coach takes him out, and also he sometimes does it in practice as well. So one play at the end of practice, he'll pick one player. You nominate one player from the team to shoot a half-court shot, and if it goes in, you get Nando's for the team.
Matt wanted to give you some of these squashies, these drumsticks. Have you had these before?
Yeah.
You like them?
Yeah.
He just said, give him some of them from me, from my snack drawer. So there you go, mate.
Appreciate you, man.
There we go. Schnack
Yeah.
Child. I'll tell you what we should do, Sam. When the American guys come on the podcast, we should get Matt into the studio and get him to introduce British
Some
snacks
weird
to the
British
Americans.
What? Talking about that, sorry.
Go on, let's
but
hear it.
We had a conversation when we was eating today, like talking about like chips, what Americans call fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, about like what dishes make sense. And I think it was Corey, he was out here having like pizza with mayonnaise. And we was like, what? Like, what's going on here? I was looking at him so sideways about this. But then it came up with like the chips, like, you know about chips poutine?
Yeah, poutine, like chips and gravy and cheese. Yeah.
So they're like, nah. Like, there's no way. Like, why would they do that?
Well, the
and I'm
Americans
saying,
said
are you
that.
great? Yeah, but I thought it came from that side. But
Mate, cheesy chips and gravy is amazing.
it's crazy. But then what is it? Raf said something with what is it? Chips and bread. What is it called?
Like a chip
Chip
butty.
butty.
Chip butty. Yeah. Raf was like, that hits. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
That's right. I'll tell you
I'm
what,
not too much on that one, but
You put a bit of ketchup in the chip butty as well.
that's what he said.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know about. It's just carb on carb. Like, it's chips and potato.
Yeah, but
you need to take-
potato and
It slaps
bread.
though. It does slap.
You need to take the Americans to Uwe Burger here. They do the chicken. They do the poutine with chicken as well in the chips. It is so good.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
yeah,
we was almost getting them to like for the poutine, like they were swaying a bit, but that
Not the
bunny,
bread.
yeah, that bunny, the what is it, butty,
yeah.
Chip butty.
chip butty.
Guys, we're back on a food podcast again. I don't know what we're
Sorry,
doing.
but there's
Welcome to the
like,
Bristol Flyers Food Podcast.
you get so creative when it comes to that. In terms of,
Amazing. No, we are honestly. We should get Matt Charles into the podcast to do some snacks with the American guys because I'm sure the American players have not tried some of our lovely British cuisine.
Let's do it. Okay, we got one final question for you from producer Dan. Do you have a question for us?
You bet I do. Yeah, I mean, so basically, Roll, we saw you today answering your phone with the WhatsApp, right? On the we saw that
Oh, the Sonic announcement video.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I want to know. I saw you answering the phone.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Good question.
No.
Anyone good in there?
Can't say.
No.
And can we call them right now?
Yeah, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay.
Let's,
Just leave it at that, shall we?
I do want to give Joel a little bit of credit for the announcements this morning because none of us in the office understood what he was on about because the famous person who created the telephone was Alexander Graham Bell. Is that right?
Yeah. You know,
I've heard
no
it.
relation at all. Ramon?
You know, but none of us understood. And Joel did all this thing. The first story was Coach calling, and like that was a little bit of a clue. And then they did all the WhatsApp on the phone stuff,
Yeah.
and all of us were like, "Oh, that's quite cool." And then he explained this to us, and we're like, "Ah, yeah, that makes way more sense."
Straight over their head. Straight over their
You
head.
didn't get that.
I didn't get it. I couldn't remember who made the phone.
I think I said in the caption or something, when Coach K gives you a bell, you better pick up, or something like that.
Oh,
Then
yeah,
it was
that's,
like,
yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So little tease in there. If you look at when it gets to signing announcement season, maybe like next summer when we start announcing players
That's
again.
a good one.
Have a
That
look in the
is,
Twitter
isn't it?
feed because we do drop clues there and there. It's not just like
Dude.
tweet stuff. It's a bit of strategy behind
Someone
it.
else tried to drop another club.
Plymouth
tried.
City Patriots tried
It
it.
was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it, but you said it.
No, I'll take that back.
It's fine.
Shout out
It's
Paul
not, it's
Nicholson
not,
at
it's
Plymouth
not,
City
it's not.
Patriots.
I was thinking like, and then when I saw it, I was like, what? Like, how could I there's no way. I don't think anyone guessed it.
No, I mean, hey,
Hey, Paul, we gotta talk about that one, man.
yeah.
We gotta talk about
Let's
that
have
one,
a
man. I'm gonna message you after this. Seriously.
Let's have a conversation
that one
about
was,
it.
That I didn't. Oh man.
Great stuff. Right. Well, I think that's a good place for us to wrap things up. Sam, you gonna say anything else there?
No, I
or-
was just gonna say, end of the food podcast, Joel.
Yeah, that's the end of our food podcast. If you want, we should start a food podcast.
Nah, we don't have time.
We'll just turn this one into a food podcast. That's great. Rowell, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you spending time out of your super busy schedule. I promise it does die down.
Yeah,
Okay, you
absolutely.
will get some downtime. I promise. Straight after this, you're on downtime.
Yeah. No. No, I'm not.
Oh really?
What are you doing? Training?
No. That's no.
Other things?
Yeah.
Other things.
Secret.
Are you moving in?
Yeah.
So he's moving in. It doesn't
know.
stop. See, all the stuff behind the
Yeah.
scenes you don't really realise. All the on-court stuff, all this stuff, and then he's got to live somewhere as well.
And then tomorrow, everything's smooth. Everything's smooth.
But then Friday, Game day.
Let's
do this.
That's what I'm waiting for, man.
Yeah. Well, best of luck for the game on Friday in your Bristol Flyers debut. Let's hope it's a big W. Final call for tickets. There's around 40 left over at bristolflyers.co.uk. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Sam, anything else you want to add before we wrap up this week's episode of the show?
Nope, thanks, Joel, and look forward to next week.
Great stuff. Thank you so much to our principal headline partner of the podcast, WebGains, for sponsoring the podcast. He's Sam, I'm Joel, and we'll see you same time next week here on the Bristol Flyers podcast, powered by WebGains.